said in my Batman Vengeance review that there were way better Batman games out there for the system, and this is one of them. Batman Rise of Sin Tzu pits the Dark Knight against a brand new villain who just might be his toughest adversary yet. Not only is Sin Tsu a master strategist, but he is also one of the world's deadliest martial artists. Having been transferred over to Arkham Asylum, Sin Tsu wishes to pit his wits and fighting skills against Batman.
Expects it. In a place where he feels strong, but is in fact weak. With an army he feels he has already vanquished. At midnight the battle begins. The battlefield is Gotham City. My adversary is Batman, and I shall be the victor. This is where it all started.
In order to lure in Gotham's protector, however, he is also enlisted to help with Batman's adversaries Scarecrow, Clayface and Bane. The game has once again been developed by Ubisoft, who handled Vengeance, and again it is based off the popular animated series. Players can now choose to play as either Batman, Robin, Batgirl and Darkwing, which is really cool, as each character has different strengths and weaknesses. Where Vengeance was a clunky, frustrating platform game, Rise of Sin Tzu is a 1-to-2 player 3D linear beat-em-up that takes inspiration from past brawling classics such as Double Dragon, Streets of Rage, and of course Turtles in Time. Your chosen character must punch, kick and flatten the legions of thugs that litter each stage. There is, however, a twist. Each level and its various sections are timed, with you having to rescue citizens and disarm bombs. If time runs down, then you fail the stage and must try again. At the beginning this can seem a little cruel, but it works out quite well, as it forces the player to get good and work out faster and more efficient ways of taking down the baddies. You can't really sit on your hands here, and often you will be able to see the target, but the game won't let you get to it unless you take out the required enemy patterns first. So the first few playthroughs will require some memorisation so you know what enemies to kill and when you can move forward. Plus this game will let you retry from a checkpoint if you make it far in one of the early levels. Another thing Batman Rise of Sin Tzu has over Vengeance is that the camera is way better in this game and the action occurs in a third person perspective only, so you'll be going down a linear path. My only complaint is that when going forward through a level where the camera is behind Batman and you try to turn him around, he will face forward, but it's not like Tomb Raider where you turn around and see where you've been. The view from the front is severely restricted, so it's difficult to see enemies rushing towards you, and they can be pretty cheap. Luckily our heroes are equipped with a range of decent attacks to battle through though. The better you perform, the more points you earn, and once a level has been beaten, you can exchange your points and buy moves and attacks to upgrade your character, so there's a real good incentive to want to do as well as you can. This game also emphasises the use of strategy, and the harder you attack your foes, the more your combo meter builds up. Once full, you can unleash a wicked cool attack which will give you the edge against some of Gotham's tougher enemies, and it can really get you out of a jam. Rise of Sin Tzu randomly throws out power-ups to again upgrade your meter, restore health or give you an extra life, which is extremely welcome. You always start off with 3 lives and you need to keep on the move and vary your attacks, as surrounding baddies can knock you around like a pinball and wrench your health, particularly on the later stages. Whilst the levels themselves are challenging, most of the time the game again will throw you a bone in the form of extra lives, and sometimes that's the only way I was able to get through a tough stage. Although occasionally the game just would not give me anything, and so I had to really grit my teeth and push through. So I do respect that the game isn't always too generous, and I really felt that I earned each and everything I was given. Once again I applaud the fact that this game is challenging. It gets really insane later on and becomes way too hard for its own good. Now I'm all for challenge in a video game, but the third stage before Bane takes place on a barge, and you have a mere 14 minutes to kill 75 thugs. Now I personally feel that it asks way too much of the player here, as you need to go up and down the barge killing waves of thugs all with varying strengths and abilities. No matter how hard I tried, however, I just simply couldn't do it. Compared with the other stages, there are no checkpoints and you have to kill all 75 in one go. Now, I honestly do think it's possible, but no matter how fast I was, the best I could only manage was about 74 before time ran out completely. My theory as to why this stage was made so hard is that it kind of forces you to team up with a second player to make things easier. I really wanted to see the whole game, but this difficult section halted me in my tracks. From what I understand, you have to play with absolute precision and try and be as quick as you can. I tried guys, but I just couldn't beat it in time for this review, which is a real shame as I wanted to show off the rest of the game. It also really put me off wanting to keep playing as I got my bat butt handed back to me time and time again. There are just so many variables which can help or hinder this section. Firstly, you have to get good with the baddie patterns and avoid their attacks. Then you have to hope that the game spits out some extra lives at the right time. You also need to use your combos wisely and also try and throw baddies into the pit, which speeds things up a bit and saves you some time. So all these things have to be in play to occur. As I said, I got real close, but maybe I'll come back to it one day. The controls for this game, however, are excellent, and pulling off attacks is fast, fun and furious, and very reminiscent again of past brawlers. One thing I can never understand is that developers really wanted you to use the joysticks in these PS2 games. Rise of Sin Tzu is no different. Now this is all well and good, but I actually prefer using the D-pad, but this game doesn't do that. Unfortunately, it only uses the joystick, and whilst most of the time it's fine, I'm just not a joystick guy and would have liked the option to change it. The graphics are once again modelled off the animated series, and Ubisoft have again gone to great lengths to make it look and play like a typical episode of the cartoon. There's a lot of dark gritty animated FMVs voiced by the cast of the show, and Batman and co look incredible. Visually this is a good looking game, and it mixes it all with some over the top beat 'em up action. Big props go out to the boss fights. Although I only managed to get near to the end of the game, I actually found Scarecrow and Clayface to be formidable opponents. Clayface can be extremely difficult, spammy, challenging and intimidating, and would have been easier had I used the combo meter attacks. But again, once the meter is full, you're supposed to hold down one of the buttons. First time playing this game, I didn't realise that. The manual does not really explain this and just expects the player to be able to figure it out. The music is top notch and opens with my favourite Batman theme of all time, the Danny Elfman score, which is also used in the 1989 Batman movie starring Michael Keaton. There are also lots of incidental music cues during FMVs, and during certain levels there is some generic music to accompany the action. So in conclusion, is Batman Rise of Sin Tzu worth playing today? Well, if you're an old school beat 'em up fanatic like myself, then yes. It's got all the ingredients for a solid game and executes its challenges really well in the beginning. It does demand a lot from the player, however, later on, and where this can be good for hardcore players, I do think anyone going into this thinking it's going to be plain sailing might get a bit of a shock. I would still say play it as it's very intense and addictive. I only got halfway, and this isn't sour grapes coming from me now, but the barge level again should have been toned down. It's just way too demanding, and this might be off-putting for fans of the Dark Knight. Rise of Sin Tzu is definitely better than Batman Vengeance, and whilst difficult in parts, some if not all of what it asks can be done after multiple attempts. It's a fantastic beat 'em up however, but requires patience, dedication and skill from the player. Okay, I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.